Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of Careers and Coffee. I'm Dan.
I'm Liz.
Liz over there chugging her coffee.
The awkward drinking right at the beginning. It's Friday.
It is Friday. How are you this morning?
I'm doing great. How about you?
I can't complain. Doing really good. Still hanging out in the woods over here. As we are in November, heading towards Thanksgiving here, and we have a topic that's been pretty highly discussed, I would say, in 2021 to talk about today, and that is the Great Resignation. And so I got a couple stats here for you, Liz, and I just want to get your thoughts. So a recent Gallup survey or Gallup poll said 48% of America's population is actively searching for or watching for new job opportunities.
What was that? 48?
48%. So almost
That's crazy.
So, right? And when you look at things like several months this year, we've set an all-time high of people leaving their jobs, right? That's why it's the Great Resignation. And so, but I want to be clear too, when you hear, in September that over 4 million Americans quit their jobs, that doesn't necessarily mean they're just leaving the workforce entirely, right?
Okay.
They're finding something else to do. They're unhappy with their current situation, and they're wanting to switch, and they're wanting a new opportunity. So I just wanted to get your thoughts. Almost half of America is looking for a job.
Wow. I mean, that's an incredible statistic right there. It just shows how much we've been affected by this pandemic. This global pandemic has changed everything about our lives and, how we work. We have these new flexible schedules. We have potentially, and if you don't have that, you want it, and it's really giving job seekers that, that's they're looking for the freedom to explore work in a way that they think is most productive to them. And I think and ultimately I think it'll be a good thing. I mean, it's transforming businesses to do better, to work differently, and really change the status quo to be more accommodating, be more supportive of families and individuals who need that flexibility. So it's really an interesting time to be working. I don't know if I do think that some of these job seekers that are joining this Great Resignation are coming back a little bit jaded when they do seek a new opportunity and then realize maybe it wasn't exactly what they promised. And maybe what I had before wasn't quite as bad as it seemed. And
Sure.
Some of that comes back to you as a person, just like, I think we need to be really clear. If you're going to be doing a job search, the best thing you can do for yourself is just sit down with a piece of paper and get real clear about what you want. And what are your deal breakers? What's really important to you in a job? Is it having a good daily activity schedule? Is it having it fit into your family life? Is it doing challenging work?
Yeah, absolutely. And then what areas are you wanting to be challenged in? And going back to a couple things you said, this article, which I'm reading on thenews.com, which is something that I read quite a bit, and I'll share this article in the show notes. But exactly what you were referring to. So, they give an example of somebody who, started talking with their friends more during pandemic in 2020, moved in with some new roommates and started talking about things related to work. Like, how does your boss treat you? What kind of benefits do you have? What's your salary? Like, how this person noticed that they were working what seemed like way more hours and was way more stressed out and making less money than their new roommates and their friends. So went through a change and, decided to completely change careers to get into a better lifestyle and, probably earn and, feel more satisfied in their career. So thought that was really interesting.
That is interesting because, it's one thing to hop on a trend, but it's another thing to just change everything, So changing your job really does affect every area of your life when you do it. And, starting a new job can be stressful too.
Mhm.
My daughter just started working, and it's been an interesting experience of watching her go through that. And, um, I kept telling her it's going to get easier and better over time after you learn, because it's really hard to learn a new job. And that's like, it's always exciting to get a job. And then that first week can be really
Yeah,
stressful and make you question things. So,
absolutely. I'm interested to get your thoughts on this, but I've always thought when I've started a new job, I've started quite a few new jobs in my career,
mhm.
but I've always felt at a minimum just to kind of get the bare bones, like 2 to 3 months to really
Yeah.
feel like before you're going to work or on on Zoom, like on your computer, or whatever, to really kind of figure out like, okay, these are the few most important things like I need to get done today, and I know how to do them.
Mhm.
Um, but for me, that's always been around like 2 to 3 month period into a job. Before then, it's just kind of like, oh, what am I doing today?
Then you get more responsibilities and grow in your career, and your
Yeah.
job changes over and over again.
That's very
uh,
true.
okay, so we're talking kind of about adaptability, right? Like, how adaptive are you to changing circumstances? And that can be super hard for, let's just say you've been working in a job for a while and you're looking for a change because you need to make more money. You want to make more money, or you want a different career path, and you're like, okay, this is the time. There's the most jobs ever, and I'm in the best position to potentially branch out. How are you going to set yourself up for success when you make that change? So I don't know, what are some things that you think would be good ways to set yourself up for success making that change?
When you're making that change. Well, I've always thought um, maybe focusing on other areas of your life. I mean, obviously, when you're going through a change in career, there is going to be, there's going to be some anxiety and some pressure around making that change. Like it's not just going to be super easy right away, right? But
Mhm.
for me, like when I've gone through that, I've tried to make sure other areas of my life were in really good balance. So whether that's,
Mm.
my health, like I like to run and, bike and stuff. So making sure like I have some normalcy and feel good in other areas of my life, as I know like the career part of my life is going to kind of be rocky for the next
Mhm.
little bit, right? So, um, taking care of myself, um, making sure I'm making time for myself to spend time with family and friends, like just things that seem so simple, but knowing that you're going to go into a rocky period in your career for just a little bit,
Yeah.
I feel like helps make everything seem more normal.
Those are really good ideas. Any kind of job search, you're going to be stressed because job searching sucks. We all know that. But getting lots of sleep, taking care of yourself, continuing to socialize in ways that are safe with your friends and family are really important to keep your mental health good and strong during that job search. I mean, even if you're just considering a change, it can be kind of scary. But the issue is you don't want to be guided by fear, whether it's you're afraid to leave a job or you're afraid to accept a new job. So good thoughts there. Another thing I was reading about this week, came up in the last week, was about retirement. So it's a report that was in our business section um, a few days ago, but it was all about the third quarter of this year. 50% of people aged 55 or older had left the labor force because they were retiring.
That's
So
great.
if you can think about, like, so Iowa is kind of an age state, right? We have a lot of people who are in that age range of retirement age. And those are tough shoes to fill sometimes when someone has a lot of experience in a role and is retiring, is ready for retirement. How well are our companies set up to encourage that next generation of workforce to join the workforce?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know
absolutely.
how
Like
well we are
that's
doing.
that's a great question, and one that employers have to be considering, right? Like, all
Yeah.
right, if we have 50% of our workforce age 55 and over going to leave us,
Yeah.
soon. How are we going to adapt, and who's that next? Who's in line to get those jobs, and how hard is it going to be to backfill these positions? So yeah, really good questions.
And I think I think some companies are doing a good job of working through apprenticeship programs and things like that. So we can link. There are a lot of opportunities for younger workers to gain experience with through apprenticeship or internship or other opportunities. And you don't have to be young to do an apprenticeship either. We had a focus on apprenticeship where a mid-aged person was getting an apprenticeship after they've been doing one thing for a while. They did construction for a while, and then they did apprenticeship to do a different to do welding or something like that. So there are available to not just young people, but people who are mid-career that are interested in making a change. And there has never been more money put into apprenticeship programs than there is right now, and it can continue to grow, especially with legislation that's going to be coming down the pipe. So I encourage you to take advantage of those opportunities, and we'll put some links in the show notes to apprenticeship opportunities if you're interested in getting more training or getting paid to learn a new career.
Cool. Yeah, definitely good opportunities out there to do that. So, well, let's go ahead and wrap it up. This has been a fun little conversation. I think there's so much going on, right? We have 500 jobs now in quarter careers. So obviously, a lot of people are leaving jobs, a lot of companies looking for jobs, which ties right into the Great Resignation. But I think to kind of sum this up, I think a lot of people are looking at like, wow, so many people are leaving their jobs right now. But I think why people are leaving their jobs and they're moving into other jobs, better situations for themselves. Maybe they're relocating, or they're figuring out that what they've been doing for a long time hasn't been working, and they're finding something that will work for them in the future. And so I think that's encouraging, and it's making all of us rethink, and employers too, like how we've done work forever. So
yeah. So, and also in careers so let's just say you are retired, but you're interested in getting back into the workforce, or you're working and what's working, full-time work isn't working for you anymore. We do have over 90 part-time jobs on Corridor Careers right now.
Yep.
And so I encourage you to check that out. And if you have comments on this topic, if you are facing, you're looking for something new, let us know what you think. Let us know what you think is the issue or could help employers get in touch with candidates in an easier fashion.
Cool. Thanks, Liz. We'll see you next time.
All right. Thanks, Dan.